Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about ETFs, otherwise known as exchange traded funds. And basically what an ETF is it is a pool of companies that are all put into this fund for the purpose of the investor wanting multiple different companies to buy into rather than just purchasing the stock of a specific company. And an ETF does trade pretty much exactly like a stock. It has its own ticker symbol, and you can buy however many shares you want on an exchange during normal market hours, just like you would any other stock. So the purpose for buying an ETF usually is going to be for diversification, and that'll be because of less risk. With multiple companies within one ETF, you'll have a lot less risk that a company goes bankrupt. Versus if you buy a specific stock and that company goes bankrupt, then you'll lose all your money. But if you have an ETF with many different companies in that, if one or two of the companies goes bankrupt, then you'll be fine because the other companies will still be in that fund and providing value for you. So going over a few of the largest ETFs, the first one's going to be SPY, has a $380 billion asset under management value. Basically what assets under management are is it is just the market value of the assets that are managed by the fund manager. So all the stocks within SPY ETF, all those company stocks multiplied by the total shares that the company is managing, that's going to be your assets under management. And then number 2 is going to be IVV at 290 billion, and 3 is VTI at 250 billion. So basically the first two, SPY and IVV, they're both going to be tracking indexes, specifically the S&P 500 index. So that's going to be your most common index to track with ETFs. Many different ETFs track S&P 500. A lot of people enjoy buying into the S&P 500 based on historic returns. But ETFs can also track specific sectors. The main sector being the technology sector. It's by far the biggest sector that ETFs track, especially currently with the technology boom right now. A lot of people want to get into ETFs with a bunch of different companies that are within technology specifically. And another pro of ETFs is their liquidity. Like I said earlier, trades exactly like a stock on exchanges, so that way you can just purchase and sell stocks during normal market hours. So that liquidity there is perfect, and you don't have to pay any commission fee unless the brokerage you're using does charge commissions. But if it's like something like Robinhood or a lot of the other basic online brokers, you don't have to pay any commissions for buying or selling ETFs, just like you wouldn't have to for stocks. So this makes them very attractive to investors such as myself. I basically don't buy any specific stocks anymore for companies. I usually just go into ETFs, and then I hold those ETFs for the long term. One of the downsides of ETFs is going to be the expense ratios. So basically every single ETF will have its own expense ratio. I think a few of them might not, but almost every ETF does. For example, SPY, that expense ratio is 0.09%. Basically what that means is with a $10,000 investment, you would be paying annually. Expense ratios are going to be annual. It's going to be $9 a year. So paying $9 a year on a $10,000 investment is not much. And that's usually what expense ratios are for ETFs. They're very low for the most part. Some of them do get up there into maybe 1% or 2%, which is a lot more than obviously 0.09. But yeah, usually with ETFs, expense ratios are pretty low. Paying $9 on a $10,000 investment a year is nothing bad. So that's why SPY is so attractive. It has performed very well historically, as well as it has that low expense ratio. In 2019, the average expense ratio for ETFs would be 0.45. So that puts it into perspective that the average was way higher than this back in 2019. So this is a good price usually for ETFs. So yeah, I think that covers all the basics of ETFs. One of the websites I personally love to go to find information about ETFs is seekingalpha.com. I'll probably put some screen overlays throughout this video of that. But yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.